What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Alec and Tyler here. We're doing something a little different today because this is something we've mentioned in the past, but with absolutely no football going on or anything noteworthy for us, we need something to talk about. So today we are going to do something Tyler has really been looking for to doing, and that is ranking every Penn State bar. So these are Tyler's rankings. He's gonna walk us through them. So let's enjoy the ride here. All right.
The alcoholic of the group here.
Yeah. I mean, you're the State College native. There are not many people that know more about these bars than you. So I think this is a somewhat professional mindset we're getting into here. So I'm ready. I'm ready to see what we got going.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Before we get to I guess the rankings, we got some honorable mentions here. So these you do not consider bars, I guess, if you want to go into that.
Yeah. So there's reasons with these ones. I'll start with Ace Pub first because I know a little bit about it more than Stage West.
Yeah.
Ace Pub's just like a little pour your own beer station where you can also buy like 6-packs inside the McClanahan's on Allen Street.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. I mean, I guess you could consider it a bar, but it's more of like a grocery store that you can drink in. Sometimes they do have like live music on Crazy Football Fridays, so I can understand that. It's just, I think when you're thinking about let's go to the bar, no one says let's go to A's for the bar scene. They go to A's for like, hey, let's get a drink and then ride it into Pickles or Champs or something that's right there. So I don't know if it was worthy enough to throw on a bar list, which is why I haven't.
I definitely agree with that. It's a good pregame spot, and it's like right in the middle of everything, which helps. But yeah, I think they close early too at like 11 or something. So it's really hard.
Yeah. It's great if you want to like start as a college student early afternoon. They have some really good deals on like their pour your own beer stuff. You can go there for like $10 and get pretty fucked up. So it's a really good spot to pregame at, I would say. And then other with Stage West, it's just that's been 5 different names in 5 years, I feel.
Yeah.
It's on the other end of downtown. It's kind of hard to get to, and they just haven't been successful. Stage West has lasted a little longer than the other ones that have been there. I'll give them that. But it's just until they can succeed for an extended period of time, I don't know if I really want to throw them into the list because it's something that when someone looks back at this video in 6 months, who knows who will still be there.
Yeah, the thing is with there, I know a lot of people go there when they have like those DJs and those live concert things. I don't know a lot of people that have been like, yeah, we're going to Stage West tonight just to drink.
Yeah, I know they do those events where people come in. I do see they have really good deals when they have events like that. Like they have green shots, which is pretty awesome. It's just like I said, you can't have extended success and expect us to show up there all the time. Then
that is true. Unfortunately, we got some sad news to get through here too. Lost a few bars in the past year or two. A couple to COVID, one to like real estate or something like that. So quick, wanted to give them a little respect here, show some love.
I don't know if we should really say this, but the Saloon and Bar Blue is really bad for the underage kids at Penn State. I mean, that was a fake ID heaven for undergrads.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Allegedly. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Mad Mexa, man, that was phenomenal. Great food and margaritas. It was a tad expensive for a college student, but man, that was a hell of a place.
All right, and now it is time. So we got 13 bars on the list because we explained 2 of them. These are like downtown bars, so the breweries like Otto's, Happy Valley, the Champs out of town, not going to be on this list. So it's kind of everything right in central downtown where the kids hang out in. That's what we're going for here. So
it's got to be accessible. That's very easy for undergrad students to make this list, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. So 13.
So we'll start off with Zeno's, which, as we were just saying, it's got to be accessible to underage kids. That's the only reason this is on the list. Zeno's is not very a popular place for students or even young adults. It's more of the adult scene of the downtown crowd, I'd say.
Yeah.
Hell of a location. I mean, it's right under Pickles. It's on Allen Street, so like it should get business, and I think it does. It's just not really somewhere you go to as a student or someone going back for games as a post grad. So I mean, you don't know much. It's not a bad spot. It's pretty cheap drinks, but it's just bottom of the list for me.
Okay, I mean, I got No, I think I've been there once, so I am not gonna fight you on that one at all. So at 12, we got.
This one hurts for me because I like Jack. It's a good
I do
spot.
too.
It's kind of low key. It's where it was the dark horse, I believe, before when we were younger, right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's the dark horse tab before, and they rebranded as Jack's. They're known really for their trivia nights, sex trivia on Tuesdays and sports trivia on Thursdays. And then it's also kind of a spot that when it gets overcrowded, so game weekends and then like bar crawl days, they do really well with. But besides that, not a lot of students go to it. So they kind of have to find those other ways to get the crowd in, which is why they have those trivia nights. But the food's phenomenal. Drinks aren't too bad. I mean, I guess drinks aren't really too bad anywhere in State College, but it's a good spot. It's just, I think it's still in the come up. Not a lot of people know about it yet.
Yeah, I think it's more of like a low key if you want a quiet night. You know what I mean? Like there's not like they don't have live music really or anything, and it doesn't get loud in there, and the lights don't go down and stuff. It's more of a low key spot, but it works on some days. So
Absolutely, I'd agree with that.
All right, number 11.
So Sharky's was this hard one to like kind of find the spot for it. Things they do well. They have the billiards area, pool, cheap drinks. They have the bottle shop. It's on that end of downtown, kind of we were saying with Stage West, that not a lot of students go out towards, especially now that it doesn't have Bar Blue and Saloon on that end either. So it's a place that students don't really go to, but they have those added features that kind of help them strive and stay in business. This is also a place you'll find the locals that are a little older that are still going downtown. It's just not somewhere that it really thrives off the students going to it, but it still has things to do. One thing I don't really like about it is they have a smoking section, and it's just that's so old school nowadays that it's hard young adults that don't smoke all that much to go into that areas too.
Yeah, I honestly the only couple times I've been in there was to go to the bottle shop. I don't know if I've ever actually drank in here, so I don't have much of a comment on this, but that one, yeah, it's a fair spot, I'd say. All right, number 10.
Definitely helps. So this one's a little controversial depending on your flavor of bars. This is where we get like these next 10 are really like the popular ones that will be kind of crowded for every week. The problem with the Den is just how crazy it gets. Like there doesn't seem like there's a lot of rules a lot of the time. It seems like there's always fights going on there. It's dirty. But it's just, I don't know. It's a place that athletes love to go to. It is good drinks, cheap drinks, has a lot of like DJ music. It's not live music or anything like that. It'll always be like hip hop stuff. So that's a good factor of it. They do have a nice outdoor patio.
Yeah.
I just think it's kind of on a come down as what it has been in the past, because it seems like everyone has been migrating more towards West Campus than it has that east side of campus.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really just that Stage West and P-Man's and I guess Sharky Suit on that side, but a lot of them aren't really that popular. So if you're going that way, you are going towards the Den or P-Man, which is not a lot of people go there unless it is an overcrowded weekend where you need to find somewhere to get into.
Yeah, I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster used to hang out there a couple times. Our guy Dom used to hang out there, so that's
and yeah, just like we were saying, it's not a bad bar. It's just there's so many good bars at Penn State that it hasn't been thriving as well as it could have recently, and I think a lot of it's due to COVID and the closing of the bars on that end of town.
Yeah.
So I think they need to find a way to kind of bring the life back to the Den, have some nights that encourage students to get down there more.
That is true. Yeah, I think kind of that the Here's there and or whatever the name of that place is now, but all those bigger apartment buildings in that area might eventually help. But
absolutely,
for now, yeah, I see it. All right, number 9.
So this is honestly one of my personal favorites. I really can't explain why. It's just something different about it's 1:00 and you're leaving all the crowded bars of Champs or P-Man's, Pickles, and you're just like, don't want to end my night yet, but don't know where to go where there won't be a crazy line. Head to the Brewery, and oh my gosh, it's just like a locals night to end it. There'll be live music, super, super cheap beer, shots, whatever you want. Like it's just a dive bar that you can end the night in and have a happy night with. Like you always will go there with your boys and you'll end up with a good time.
Okay, I'm like really hit or miss on this place. I've been in there where Owen and I went in there one night because the line was long at Doggies and we wanted to kill some time. And like literally everyone else in there knew each other and like stared at us the whole time. But then there's other nights where it's been packed and there was like a good band in there and it was fun. So yeah, I think the like toward like the middle back of the list is a good place for this because it's been hit or miss, but it's also not a place where, you know, everyone's hanging out either.
I agree. And it's a place you got to go with the right headspace. You got to show
Yeah.
up very intoxicated. You got to show up with the mentality, just kind of do whatever in there, and enjoy live music. You have to like live music because that's really one of the selling points of this bar.
Yeah, I agree there. All right, number 8.
So cafe is a interesting one as well. It's not really one of those bar scenes where you're up walking around talking to people. It's more of a go with a group of people, sit down and enjoy. They thrive for like the daytime events when it's really nice out. They have that outdoor patio and the front outdoor and the back patio, and then the front patio as well. The back can kind of be more of like the college party scene because they have that speaker people connect to. They have a lot of tables out there, so you kind of can get giant groups together, have tables close to each other. And then the front's more of like a restaurant area, kind of where they'll serve food and drinks. But it's not a place you go to spend your whole night. They will do live music at nights, but I feel like they close a little earlier. The food is phenomenal, and the drinks are really good, very sugary. So you'll be having a hangover the next day. But it's just like I said before, the brewery, you gotta have that right mentality and knowing what you're getting to there and not expect anything more than what they offer. And what they offer, they're phenomenal at. It's just not a college scene that you want to go get crazy at.
Yeah, I agree. I like going there during the day. My one problem with this place is the first or second time I ever went there, and I got like 3 of the iced tea pitchers. 2 days later, I woke up and I had a kidney stone, and I blame it on all the iced tea pitchers. So they're like kind of out of favor with me just because of that, because I'm pretty sure that's where it came from, and that was painful. So whenever I think of this place, I think of that. So I like it, but I just have that bad memory in my head personally.
Yeah, a lot of sugar in their drinks, but it tastes good.
Yeah. All right, number 7.
So this is hard for me now because I haven't been to it in a little bit.
Yeah, neither have I.
But the Gaff when I was in school, I guess when we were both in school, it was very good during the COVID times because you always had to fight for those line leaves, get into the areas. They could space out the tables well in there, but their happy hour at the time was phenomenal. It was like from 9 to 12, you could get $6 liquor pitchers of anything you wanted. So as a college student, like that was just a way to go have a cheap night, but still have a lot of fun with your friends. I think now it still is fun. It's just, I think they increased their prices a little bit. So it's somewhere that you have fun at. But it's not somewhere that I guess you meet up or you go looking to meet new people. You kind of have to go with your friends. And go with like a crowd that you know you can enjoy with and have fun. If it's Wednesday at the Gaffioki or if it's Friday night with their throwbacks and just dancing around in there. And it's definitely a place you can have fun. It's just I wouldn't go there looking to interact with random people. You gotta have to go with a group and hang out with your group.
Yeah, the theme nights are good. I've never watched a game in there, but I would assume the like game day experience probably isn't the best in there for watching game. The bathroom 0 out of 10, I guess is the best way to put it. But other than that, yeah, it is a fun spot. I don't think the prices are that bad. They have 24-ounce Bud Light cans, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I don't mind this place at all.
Yeah, they do well with what they do. And those pitchers are really, really good in the moment. I wouldn't recommend getting them out of the happy hours because I think they're now 8 on happy hours, but they're like 12 or 14 out of happy hours. So you got to know when to go there and get the right drinks at the right times there, but it can be fun if you do it right.
Yeah. All right. Getting towards the middle now, or front middle, I guess. Number 6.
So the basement. This one's very interesting as I am now, I guess. Because as a student, I never went to it. It just, as a night, they weren't able to be open as a student. So I never really got to go there with my college friends at the time. It's only been as a post-grad going back for football games on the weekends. And it's fun. They have cheap drinks. It's a giant dance crowd. They have DJs in there. They have an area for bottle service. I just think it's a hard spot to really say it's like the best spot for college students because how many college students want to pay for bottle service or how many bottle or college students that go to Penn State in the middle of central Pennsylvania want to go to like a nightclub that kind of has like that rave feel to it. So I don't know if it's the best theme, but they are the only one that does it in State College. So I think they get that crowd strictly off of that. They do have those $2 Twisted Tea nights or whatever, like Long Island.
Long Island, yeah.
So they have good drink deals and the drinks are made well. It's a different category than most other bars in State College.
Yeah, it is a different vibe. I think, like you said, that does work in their advantage. And I think, every once in a while I was like down for that. The service is pretty good for how many people they let in there. I think the one thing that kind of sucks about that place is the line can get bad. Like they open at 9. If you want to get in for 9, which I know a lot of people don't, but even if you want to get in for like 10, you have to get there at 8:30. So you kind of have to plan. You have to like plan your whole night around it, which kind of sucks. But overall, I think when you go there, it's fun. It's not a place I would recommend for games either. If you're trying to watch something, it is if you want to party. It is. I guess the best way to put it would be like frat party for people over 21. It's got that kind of vibe to it, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's a party scene. You don't go there for anything other than to party and get really wasted.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, it's fun every once in a while, but it is like kind of a once in a month, once every 2 week type thing. Yeah. All right, number 5.
So here's the first, and this one has changed for me since being a student. Because as a student, I wasn't a huge fan of the first.
Okay.
But now going back, I kind of appreciate the vibe they have in there. It really gives off that Penn State persona. It's really kind of like a dive bar underground. The drinks are really good, and I love that they always have live music in there. So that's kind of where it's putting up to me now at the 5 spot. Before I probably would have had it down to that like 8 to 10 range. But going back now, it has those cheap drinks. It has drink deals, has live music. You kind of have that game area in the back of pool tables and a place to mingle. And then you have like the live music area at the front. And then in the middle, you have a bunch of tables for people to gather around and talk to as well. It is really loud because of the live music. The bathrooms are pretty good in there, I'd say.
Yeah, they're pretty good, yeah.
Made me think with the whole gaff thing with that. So the bathrooms actually are pretty good for the type of spot that is. But they do let a lot of people in there too for the size of it, which is nice because you are able to meet new people, also be with your group. There's different areas to go to, so you have different vibes in the bar. All around, like it does well with everything it has.
Yeah, I would say if you're like claustrophobic, this is not the place for you. Kind of a low ceiling basement, lots of people stuffed in like a dark room, but it is fun. The service is pretty good. Yeah, I think it's a good spot for this. Obviously, they have the 21st birthday theme with the hats and the blowjob shots and all that. So, yeah, I think this is a nice spot for sure.
I know. How can I forget that part of it? Yeah, the 21st is the reason they're called the first. So that's what they drive off of. And it's a place that every student now, when they turn 21, it's like, oh, I got to go to the first at midnight. Yeah. So they do a lot of business through that. And then also you got to highlight, they have the fries. Plus they have kind of a partner bar with Champs, and Champs has the best ranch as anyone knows. So kind of just putting those two together was also a good move for them.
Yeah, that is true. All right, we're getting up towards the elite group here with number 4.
So Doggies. This one was really hard to rank. I know me and Alec had back and forth with this one.
Yeah.
This was a strictly summertime rankings. Doggy would be number 1, and it wouldn't even be close. Yeah. Just having that outdoor area where if it's in the summertime, they have cornhole, they have other games, they have the live music, the pizza stand out there. It's just the vibe out there is incredible. And something you could literally go at 11 a.m. and be content there till 2 a.m. Just if it's beautiful weather, you could drink all day out there. Mm-hmm. What sucks for them is in the wintertime, their inside is not anything like that. It's kind of like dark, grimy, hard to get drinks inside at times. And there's nothing really to do in there besides sit at a table. So it's way too different vibes throughout the year. I think they're working on it and they have gotten better. They have started to do some inside live music in the fall and winter, and then other stuff to get people to come in during the winter times. But if they can really get that outside vibe inside at times, it would be a phenomenal bar year round.
Yeah, I think I haven't been there in a while, but I think now they even kind of started doing where the outside is all year round. I think they put up like a giant tent, have some heaters out there and stuff. So that definitely helps their case. Yeah. Summertime, absolutely love going there. I get it. The winter, it is a little boring in there. I still think I think they have the best green tea shots in town, honestly.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I always enjoy it there. I thought they were pretty good during COVID too, because you didn't need a line leap to go there.
I agree.
It was always kind of a clutch spot came in. So I have nothing but good things to say about Doggies, but I think this is a fair ranking just because it does trend a little down more in the winter when they don't get to use that awesome outside space they have.
I completely agree. The outside space is just, it was so smart for them to do that when they purchased this from Skeller, and including that outdoor area. It's been a home run for them.
Yeah. All right. So now we're up to the big three here. So at 3.
So 3 is Primanti Brothers. I can't say I love it as much as other people do, but I also like it's this high for a reason. It is a very college bar. They've just added that inside area now. They have pretty good food, so it's a restaurant during the day, then turns to bar at night. But you can still get the food at night to a certain point. They have really cheap drinks. They have happy hours every night and then twice on Fridays. They have specials. It's a sports bar, so whether it's Eagles, if you're an NFL Eagles fan, Penn State games, NFL draft, like just stuff like that. They will always have some sporting event on the TVs and get that vibe for that going. They have that DJ and dance area at the front. I know Greek Life loves P-Mans. It's always crowded and it's always a good time there. It's just not my cup of tea. You really have to like kind of fight your way in. They are on the smaller side, so if you're not really in the inn with the bouncers or get there very early, it is kind of a bitch to get into. But besides that, overall, it's a really good bar.
Yeah, I honestly kind of like it a little more during the day when they open up like the front windows and everything, and the air's coming in. I think it's nice. At night, yeah, it is a problem sometimes because of the shape of the place. It kind of makes like that U. It's kind of hard to navigate the bar. It gets tight there, but really good for games, like you said. Drinks are good. They have nice selection of that. The food is really good, obviously. So I think this is a fair spot for it. I would agree with you. It's not like my number one go-to place, but I see why other people really like it. It is fun at night, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. These next two are just a huge toss-up, and I know I'm probably going to get some shit for it. But
yeah, I mean, it is close. So this is going to shock some people.
At number 2. And like you said, this is definitely going to shock some people. There's a major reason for this. Okay. Champ is massive. It does everything right. They have cheap drinks. They have a great atmosphere for games. They have the huge downstairs area with a ton of pool tables and games and different events going on inside there. They're really good at promoting the bar. They get live acts coming in with the Jonas Brothers or Waka Flocka every night. My biggest thing is because of how big it is, I don't think they set it up the best with that bar upstairs. And then just how small the bar is downstairs, that it's so crowded to get drinks. It's also so crowded when there's that DJ going. It's also so loud that your head is just screaming at you when you're in there. So you really have to be in there to like want to be really smushed, want to just talk to anybody, possibly have drinks spilled over you all night. But it does have everybody. If you're going up for a weekend and you want to meet up with a bunch of people, this is the place to go because they can have up to, I think, like 2,400 people inside the bar. I do think they get a little carried away with how popular they are, and they will charge ridiculous amounts for that line leap to get in.
Yeah.
Like I remember when Auburn came to town, they were charging upwards of $100 to skip the line to go in. It's just stuff like that, I think, has just kind of like swayed me away from it. But at the same time, when they have their deals and you get a $2 dirty Sprite or $3 or $4 double vodka soda or something like that, like they do everything right except with some of those little things with the experience wise. Bar wise, with the drinks, food, it's great.
Yeah, I guess they are kind of like a brand. You kind of pay for the brand in a sense when you go there, and it always is fun. It's enjoyable for games. I've watched World Series games in there. I watched a couple Penn State road games in there. Always a good time. They make the games like an emphasis too. Like they lower the music and stuff. Like they want to make it like a game day atmosphere, which I really appreciate. I will say my biggest problem with that place, like you said, is the upstairs bar in a way makes it so narrow to get through there at times because everyone wants a drink. And I don't know if that bar was like in the back in like a U shape or something. I feel like it'd be way different because it more room on like the dance floor in front of the stage.
Yeah.
And I know maybe it was already that way and they couldn't do anything about it. I get that. But yeah, it does get a little crowded up there. I do kind of prefer the downstairs because of that. But I think the downstairs is a ton of fun with all the arcade games and the pool tables, and the bar's a little smaller, but I still think they do a pretty good job down there.
I agree. And they do everything right with how they have it set up. And there was always something to do in there. There's always people to talk to. It just, when it gets to that crazy experience where the line's so long and you're waiting to get in and there's that many people in there just shoulder to shoulder, it can get annoying.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree there. All right, so that means we only got one left, and that is Pickles.
Pickles is by far my favorite bar, and it's just not even close at this point. They have the cheapest drinks by far. Love that. The bartender staff is hilarious, and if you go there even a couple times, like, they will remember your face. They kind of know your drinks, or they'll interact with you. It's a little smaller, I would say, but like they added that outdoor area now too in the summertime, kind of in the late fall, where you can go outside to get more people in there. It's just, I keep saying this term, but this bar really does every single thing right that you need to in a bar. They have the connection with corner room, so they can get the food in there. The wait time for drinks actually isn't that long for kind of how small the bar is. They get 4 bartenders in there, which I think at Champs they usually only have like 4 or 5 for that giant bar upstairs. Pickles will always make sure there's 4 during like busy nights in that their little bar. So you're never waiting forever for drinks. I know I said it already too, but the drinks are really, really cheap. They have all day specials every day. It's one of my favorite places to go. They make an experience, whether it's a sporting event or a country night, or, I mean, hell, I was there a couple nights before Christmas and they were having Die Hard playing in there and just chilling and watching that and drinking. So like, it's always something going on in there, and they're enjoying themselves, and they make it fun to be at the bar, and they feel like you're a part of like their whole family that's going on there at Pickles.
Yeah, I guess the best way to put it is they kind of do every theme well. Like country night, they do well, and then they flip around. And I watched a lot of Phillies playoff games in there, and they did, like, the game was the emphasis then. And we watched the Kentucky Derby in there. That was fun. So like they know how to go with every theme. And like you said, the service is really, really good in there. Never really had a problem. I'm not going to disagree with you here, honestly, at all.
It's the environment and the lovingness of that. Everybody that works there is what sells me on that place.
Yeah, I do see. I would say the one problem is, because of how small it is, there are times where you will wait a while, especially country night. You might be in line for upwards of a couple hours, but
get inside. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess that is the one downside if we're going to play both sides here, but it's a very minimal thing if you play your cards right, I guess.
If you want to, like, you want to go there, then you just got to have to control yourself and get there early and not black out before the night starts.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so here's our rundown. I got everything color coordinated by you had some tiers on it. If you want to explain them, you can.
Yeah, so at the top we got the big 3, I like to call them, which is really, I feel like those are crowded every single night, whether it's summer, winter, fall, whatever. P-Man's in the summer, I guess, isn't, just because I don't think they're open as much as they usually are, especially being that side of town, not a lot of people there. So in the summer, I guess it's not. But really throughout the year, they are crowded every single night. And then the next 3 are kind of the places that will be full. They will be fun experiences. They just don't do everything as well as the top 3 do. So it's really just that second tier. They do a good job with what they have. They have room for improvement to get to that top tier. The next 4 are ones that, like we said, when we got to the Den, is kind of, this is where everything starts. These are all great bars still. They do stuff right. They have good drinks, cheap drinks, fun environments, fun theme nights. They just kind of are in that own pack where I don't really see a lot of movement for them in the coming future. They definitely can. They just have to find ways to do it. But I think they're also content with how well they're doing still at being in a college town. And then the last 3 are just kind of, they're there. They haven't gone out of business, which is obviously a good thing. It's just, I don't think students really thrive and seek out going to these bars.
All right. Well, there you have it. I'm going to post this all over the place. We'll try to get some feedback on it. If you like what you saw here, make sure you like and subscribe. We'll be back with some podcasts later this week, next week. Until then, for Tyler, I'm Alec. Thanks for watching.